ever had one of those days where you talk and talk, but at the end of it, you feel like you got absolutely nothing done? Well, in this explainer, we're going to flip that script. We're diving into the disciplined power of strategic silence. Not just being quiet, but using silence as a secret weapon for focus, for influence, and for real success.
All right, let's get real for a second. Just think back on your last week. How many of those meetings just dragged on? How much time was spent just filling the air with chatter? Maybe you found yourself oversharing a bit, just to avoid that awkward silence. And have you ever stopped to wonder, could talking too much actually be what's holding you back?
And that brings us to the core idea we're going to unpack. See, not every thought that pops into your head actually deserves to be spoken out loud. This isn't about being shy or being an introvert. It's about something much more powerful. It's about choosing your words deliberately, treating them like any other important resource. It's about disciplined communication.
Okay, so first up, the high cost of talk. We gotta understand the problem before we can fix it, right? We tend to think of talking as free, but it has these hidden costs that, trust me, can be incredibly high.
Here's a really powerful way to frame this. Think of your words as money. Seriously, every single word is like a dollar bill. Now, if you just throw them around on useless gossip or constant complaints, they lose their value, right? They become worthless. But what if you invest them wisely? In real, meaningful conversations. That's when people start to sit up and listen.
And you know exactly what this looks like in real life. You bump into a coworker, and what starts as a quick hey somehow turns into a 40-minute vent session. You're talking about everything and nothing. And just look at that gap. A huge chunk of your time and mental energy. For what? Pretty much zero benefit. That right there is the hidden cost we're talking about. So how do we fix this? Well, there's this great concept from the book Essentialism. It's basically about installing a little filter in your brain. Before you open your mouth, you just ask one simple question. Is this necessary? Do I really need to say this? Is this actually helpful? Just asking that one question can cut out so much of that low-value chatter we get stuck in.
Okay, so if talking too much is the problem, what's the solution? And it's not just about shutting up. Nope. It's about shifting your focus to something way more powerful. Listening. The legendary Dale Carnegie had this golden rule, and it's so good. For any truly influential conversation, you should be listening about 70% of the time and only speaking for 30%. Think about that ratio. It completely flips the script. When you listen more, you're gathering intelligence, you're building real connections, and you're way less likely to say something dumb you'll regret later.
And here's what that looks like in practice. It's a simple swap. The old habit is to jump in with, let me tell you, it's all about you, broadcasting your thoughts. The new habit, the powerful one, is to start with, I'd like to know your view. You see the difference? You're inviting them in. And the funny thing is, when you make people feel heard, they become way more interested in what you have to say. All right, now we're getting to the heart of it. We have to completely reframe how we see silence. It's not a weakness. It's not an awkward void we need to fill. When you learn how to use it, silence is your superpower. There's this amazing metaphor from the book Quiet that just nails it. Think about it. Someone who's always talking is like a shallow, splashy pond. All surface, no depth. But a person who's comfortable with silence, they're like a deep ocean. They might look calm on the surface, but underneath, that's where the powerful currents of real thinking and insight are flowing. Let's take that a step further with an idea from deep work. Imagine your brain, your focus, is like a laser. When you're constantly chattering, the gossip, the random interruptions, your mental energy is like a dim, spread-out light bulb. It's weak, it's not really doing much, but when you use silence to protect your focus, that same energy becomes a concentrated beam, the kind that can cut through steel. That's where deep work happens. That's where you make real progress. Okay, so this all sounds good, right? But how do you actually do it? Let's get practical. This is your toolkit, the stuff you can start using today. The absolute foundation of this whole thing is the 3-second rule. It's simple. Before you speak, just stop, think, pause, and then decide, is this really worth saying? You'd be amazed how many useless words just disappear in that little 3-second pause. All right, let's get into the tools. Number 1. This is your main filter. You need to talk less and think more. So before you say something, just ask yourself, is this actually useful, or am I just emotionally dumping right now? If it's the second one, that's your cue to be quiet and figure it out in your own head first. Okay, ready for tool number 2? This one's a game changer.
Replace talking with writing. Seriously, when you get that powerful urge to just talk, to vent, to get it all out, instead of grabbing a person, grab a journal or open a note on your phone. You get all the benefits of getting it out of your system without costing anyone else their time and focus.
And last but not least, number 3.
This one is all about building conversation boundaries. It is 100% okay to politely tell someone, hey, I'd love to chat, but I'm right in the middle of something deep right now. Can we connect later? Trust me, people won't think you're being rude. They'll respect your discipline. You're basically teaching them how to get the best out of you. All right, as we start to wrap this up, I want to leave you with one last big idea, a final thought that really ties all of this together. Here it is. This is the big takeaway. Valuable thoughts grow stronger in silence. So instead of seeing silence as this empty space you have to fill, see it as an incubator. It's the quiet greenhouse where your little half-baked ideas can grow into something truly powerful. You don't have to say every thought out loud for it to be real. Let your best ideas mature in the quiet. Because at the end of the day, silence isn't passive. It's an active choice. It's a space you create. For deep work, for better relationships, for clear, powerful thinking. So the only question that really matters is, what are you going to build with your silence?